Hello there, NDLers. This is Coach Sammy33, and I bring to you something new starting in Season 32. This is the inaugural episode of NDL ESPN. Twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursday nights, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. There'll be a 30-minute show highlighting games played up to the point in the block. There has to be a cutoff. It's kind of arbitrary at the moment. I'm still feeling things out. But thanks to the tech upgrades we've had since the NDL was on hiatus, we've got Twitch, we've got YouTube, we've got Kick, Facebook Gaming, a multitude of ways to stream. Because of that, we're able to watch games live. So for those that aren't able to keep up in Discord, busy at work, busy with life, whatever it is, with this 30 minutes, I hope they get as many highlights in and as many coaches spotlighted as possible as we look at scores and highlights from games in the block. So getting started, the first game we're going to take a look at is Florida at Miami. So far, Florida has dominated this series on this year's games, 3-0. Miami looking to get their first win in this rivalry on this game. Dealer looking to do it against Coach Big Mike. Both fans of their teams. They know their teams well. They played last season, Florida won. And Florida looking to get off to a good start on the road. 3rd and 5. Lagway dropping back and finding Boardingham on the cross. And he jukes. He gets in the end zone. And Florida taking the early lead, 7-0. Next possession, looking deep. And he finds Aiden. So Lagway off to a great start in this game. 14-0 Gators. Miami at the end of the first. Mr. Ward trying to make something happen. 4th down, a no-go. But Ward still firing in the second quarter. Big interception, and that is going to be house. So Florida, early in the second quarter, 21-0. Miami's got some work to do at home. 21-7. And a big interception here. Miami looking to cut into the lead going into the half. And they do. Ward dropping back. Able to scramble. Sets up 1st and goal. And then Martinez finding the end zone. So the lead is cut to 7. After Florida field goal is 24-14. Big Mike, user lurk, he gets the pick. And that sets up Florida with a short field. They get a field goal. So 27-14. Catch out the backfield by Martinez. And a user strip. That's going to give Florida the ball back. And they cash in. Touchdown Gators. They increase the lead. They're up 21. Ward looking early in the 4th. And he finds the streaking slot. 35-21. But Florida just too much. The deep ball. Aiden again. Scoring on the bomb. Going up 42-21. That is your final score. Good game by DJ. 13 for 15. 284. 3 TDs and a pick. Damian Martinez, 148 all-purpose yards with 2 touchdowns. But Florida wasn't the only SEC team to start out on a good run. Tennessee, block 1 completed, 2-0. Game 1, a road win on the Smurf turf. They beat the Gentees 35-14. Good ball control offense by Tennessee enforcing turnovers. And then Virginia Tech on the road. Big win there for Tennessee against a power conference team. They went 41-10. Rough block for Virginia Tech, though, speaking of them. They also play the Gators on the road at the Swamp, and they lose 24-10. 14-point lead early for Florida, and it turned into a defensive game after that, able to hold on and win. Well, let me tell you, the team of the block, definitely the Wisconsin Badgers. Their coach was on the emotional roller coaster all block, and we're going to start out with their matchup against Arizona State. And look who's off to the races. Cam with a good run getting inside the 5, and then 2nd and goal, looking to finish the drive, the pitch, the catch, the touchdown. 7-0 later. 14-7. Van Dyke finding Burrows deep. Cut back in field. That's going to be a touchdown. 14-14. And then with under 30 seconds to go, finding Pauling for a touchdown. So 14-21, thinking that's going to be good enough. No, look at this catch. How does he hold on to that ball? I don't know. 14-21, 9 seconds to go in the half. Nice pass. Touchdown Devils. Going to the third. Midway through, Walker pushing his way into the end zone. Wisconsin regains the lead, but Scatabo, look at this. Just bulldozes over the defender, scampers into the end zone. 28-28. Third quarter winding down. Walker bruising his way in. 35-28. Third and 9. Mateer deep over the middle. It's going to be a long score, and just like that, Arizona State answers. Mateer with 104 yards on the day and a TD. Backup running back time late. Wisconsin regaining the lead. Scatabo converting on 4th and 10. 3rd and 15. Sun Devils needing some big. Fitting that ball in there. Gotta go hurry up. The Sun Devils have no timeouts left. Just 12 seconds. The clock's ticking. Gotta get something going. And Sam, tight window throw. Again, I don't know how he holds on to that ball. Touchdown Tyson. And Arizona State goes for 2. And as you can see, the middle cover, the guy comes free late, but can't get the ball off. Wisconsin holding on for dear life. They win it by 1. 83 combined points in this game. 948 yards of combined offense. You want to talk about a shootout? There is your shootout for this block. Back and forth all game long. A really fun game to watch. But Wisconsin wasn't done for the block. On the road, taking on their ranked North Carolina Tar Heels. Man, what a finish to this game. We're just going to jump into the fourth quarter. Hampton scoring from 9 yards out. North Carolina going up 28-24. Late in the fourth, Van Dyke, 3rd and 8. That's going to get 6 yards. Got to convert on 4th down with 2 minutes to go. Goes outside with the ball. It's going to be incomplete, but the middle guy was wide open. A misread. And then 3rd and long. Big catch there. North Carolina able to run the clock out after that. They score and hold late. They survive 28-24. Close game between Power 4 schools. But North Carolina did have another game, and this was the talk of the block. On the road at BYU, Coach Bruce Bagel. Pat already with a game in hand, looking to see if he can go 2-0 on the block. He is familiar with BYU. Remember, Pat did coach Utah earlier in this game cycle 2 seasons ago. And Hampton, after going down early, North Carolina up 7-3. Things looking good. BYU on the kick return, and you see just a little wiggle, and he's off to the races. That's going to be a score, and BYU retakes the lead just like that, up 10-7. Later, dropping back is Max Johnson, and linebacker just blows that up. Not used to seeing linebackers come up that fast. Gets the pick and returns it to the house. And then North Carolina, 3rd and 1. Great call on the RPO. Getting inside the red zone. And to end the first quarter, last play. Looks like he's going to get a touchdown, but no. If nothing else, just fall down. He fumbles it. That hurts. Touchdown opportunity right there, but it's okay. North Carolina bounces back, 17-14. But BYU responding with the deep ball. Parker Kingston already runs back a kick. Now a 70-yard touchdown reception. 24-14. North Carolina looking to answer. But those dangerous late first half interceptions. That's going to be a pick 6. Just like that. BYU up 17. Early in the third. Johnson getting going. Touchdown pass, 21-31 now. Johnson rolling out, but good idea. Just couldn't get enough on the ball. And that one's going to be returned. So BYU up 17 again. But North Carolina not going away. Hampton, touchdown reception, cutting it to 2 scores. North Carolina looking to cut it to 1. And Johnson finding Nesbitt deep, breaks a tackle, gets in the end zone. North Carolina right back in this. But after a failed onside kick, BYU. Miles Davis breaking for a touchdown run. North Carolina answering again. Hampton, his second rushing TD of the game. Bucko 6 to go, no timeouts. North Carolina has to get this. They do not. BYU recovers the onside kick. And our first upset of the season, BYU knocking off ranked North Carolina. Crazy game. If you look at the differential in yards, huge difference, over 300 yards difference. But a kick return and 2 interceptions run back for a touchdown. GG's to BYU. Not the only surprising game. James Madison, a team that a lot of people are looking at for that group of 5 spot, they lose at home to Hawaii, 31-27. Jeff Daddy getting the run game going along with the pass. And then Arkansas State going into UCLA and getting a win. 20-17, 14 points in the fourth quarter by Arkansas State. Football Kelly pulling off an upset against a power school. Speaking of power schools, Mizzou off to a good start, 2-0 in the first block. MJ Kemp was in the playoffs last season, looking to do the same with Mizzou, and that offense is clicking already. 41 points in the first half against Western Michigan in a win, and 35 points against Appalachian State in a win. So the offense clicking as expected, but it is against 2 mid-major teams. But Nate Noel already making the first claim or firing the first shot in the Heisman race. Great start for him. We'll have to see how he does against SEC competition. The SEC, Georgia on the road, headed to the Big House to take on Coach Freak and the Michigan Wolverines. D-Kane had a good playoff run last season. Looking to do the same here in Smith. 13-10 at the time. Good way to start the second half. 20-10 Georgia. 3rd and 20. Beck trying to find someone open. Uh-oh. That's going to be an interception. McBurrows getting it to around midfield. Michigan needing to respond. Down 10. They need to make a big play. And Bolden picks off the ball, cuts back, and he's going to go all the way across the field. No one from the Wolverines will be able to get him. That's going to be a long pick six. 73 yards by KJ. They go up 27-10, and the Georgia defense holds it down from there. So D-Kane getting the win on the road. So Georgia starting out the season just like they did last year with the win. Looking at another SEC team, Texas. Coach Jiggy played in the championship the last 3 seasons, 2-1. Big Red taking on Iowa, seeing what he can do there as they have moved on from Coach Wilds. And Texas striking early. Isaiah Bond with a 66-yard score. Caleb Johnson with the answer. So 7-7. And with just over a minute to go, big play action pass there by Manning for a touchdown. And then big play here on the RPO, Texas, 14-7. Arch finding the end zone to make it 21-7. Then interesting play here, Arch just trying to run for his life. Chucks it downfield. It's going to be an interception, so Iowa getting inside the 40. They've got a shot here to make something happen. They got to get some points out of this. Jiggy, those user skills, making the pick there, good read. Next drive for Iowa after they get a stop. Jiggy again. Another user alert for an interception. Blackwell is going to get some extra yards out of that. No Baxter on this one. Jadon Blue getting into the end zone. Texas going up 28-7. A lot of pressure by the Texas defense in this game. 5 sacks. Multiple times that they hit the quarterback. Iowa, though, the 2 turnovers across the 50. When you're playing against a coach like this, you can't make those mistakes. You got to cash those into points. And speaking of cashing in, the SEC, yes, I know. Talk about the SEC all the time, but so far, out of conference, 11-3. So SEC showing why they are the premier conference in the league. They're not the only conference that has something going on for it. Louisville, 2-0 start. Sergeant ZT rolling with the Cardinals. 35-7 win on the road against Illinois. So knocking off a Big Ten team. And then in week 2, hosting a mid-major, but taking care of business at home, winning 34-0. So the Cardinals picking up where MJ Kemp left them off last season. Speaking of the ACC, Syracuse and Georgia Tech. Hey, there was 2 conference games already. Georgia Tech pulling off a win against Syracuse. They were able to get the lead early, and Syracuse kept fighting back, but able to hold on. And then Florida State and Boston College, 58 combined points. Looked like an explosive fourth quarter, but 2 pick sixes got Florida State behind early, and from that point on, defense by both sides, Florida State clawing back to get a win. But it's not all about the power conferences. Let's talk about some of those mid-major games. There's some really exciting finishes in this block, one of them being New Mexico at Liberty. New Mexico, returning coach. Liberty, new coach. Liberty, one of the better ranked group of 5 teams. New Mexico, Coach Barras had a good season with them last season. We're going to jump in with 3 minutes to go. New Mexico up 7 and the big TD pass. So Liberty cutting the lead to 0, tying it up. But the extra point is missed. It's wide. And guess what? It's still 2020 with 2 seconds to go. Liberty shrugging off a tackle is Mr. Smith and chucks it deep. That's going to be intercepted. Is it going to be run back? Is it going to be run back? No, it won't. So we're headed to OT. So first play of OT, New Mexico. Touchdown. Wysong. Gonna have to answer. The running game. Boom. Touchdown. So after 1 OT, we're still tied. OT number 2. Smith dropping back. About to get hit. It's deflected into the hands of a linebacker. That's picked, so all New Mexico has to do is score. And a fumble. Ooh. So neither team scores. They both turn over the ball. It's just 2-point conversions. And what do you know? The guy who recovered the fumble gets the pick 2. That's how this game ends. Liberty stealing one at home against New Mexico. What a crazy finish. Good game by both coaches. I got to jump in the second half and watch. Over 750 yards of offense. Both teams running the ball well. Fun game to watch. Crazy finish. And speaking of offense, let's head out to Marshall, hosting Memphis. Coach Lingus staying with Marshall, so advantage him possibly. He knows his team well. Shady Nasty coming over to Memphis. See what happens this one. Looking at 2 high-powered offenses. A lot of points likely to be put up. So let's get started. Little past the midway mark of the first quarter. Memphis, ooh, dangerous pass. But that's a touchdown, 7-0. The rollout. Just enough to get it. And man, look at that move. The big guy barreling his way down the field, gets in the end zone. 14-0 Memphis. But it's okay. Marshall answers. Toby Payne with the touchdown reception. And then A.J. Turner, touchdown there. At this point, it's 17-12. Those late picks in the first half, they never end well. But Marshall down 5, looking to take the lead going into the half. And Metcalf, big catch there. 19-17 Marshall after a stop. Bad pass there. That's going to be a pick 6. So Memphis regains the lead going into the half. 24-19. Marshall right away looking deep. Chapman, touchdown. 24-27. Memphis answers on the ground. They retake the lead. 31-27. Braxton dropping back again. Finding Turner. Cutting inside. That's going to be another touchdown for Turner. 3 catches for 117. So doing his work, not just running the ball. Chapman, nice ball there, 34-31 at this point. Braxton, look at that diving catch there. Braxton looking good with his guys. And then an interception. This point is 31-41. Not going to be able to get in the end zone, but able to get away enough. And then Turner doesn't do it just through the air. Sliding through those two. Gets inside the 25. And then Turner, next play, 1st and 10, cutback, off to the end zone. Final score on this one, 55-38. Braxton, good start for him, 17 of 22, 374 yards, 6 touchdowns. Turner, 200 all-purpose yards, 3 touchdowns. And we're going to look in on a favorite, Central Michigan at South Alabama. Fired up Chip. Know all about him on game day if you were listening. And we're going to get started with this. Who says kickers can't make long field goals? 54-yarder. But South Alabama answering. Big play here. And then shovel option. Honestly, didn't know that was in the game. All right, South Alabama cutting it to 2. And what is this? The blocker gets in the way of the running back on the pitch. Bounces right to the linebacker. So Central Michigan in trouble. But the defense stepping up. Big interception. You got to feel for South Alabama here. You get a big break there and then give it right back. That's going to be a touchdown. But they show resilience. They answer. Diving, can't make the interception. Jaguars get the score, but Chip and his boys being able to convert on 3rd down. So Central Michigan holds on. King Salty playing well. Central Michigan able to hold on the road to win 30-28. At the end of the day, a win is a win. That's all that matters. You don't need style points. You just need to stay undefeated. In other Group of 5 action, Florida Atlantic, new coach, Coach Jumper, goes to Army and wins 34-6. So Jumper, welcome to the league. Gets his first NDL win. Sam Houston and Fresno State. Sam Houston gets 2 TDs in the 4th quarter to pull away. 35-21, so a big road win for them against one of the Mountain West teams. Might be helpful in the big picture when we start talking about Group of 5 stuff later. Tulsa, 37-18 winners over Western Kentucky. A big 3rd quarter, 14 points, helps widen the lead and able to hold on from there. So T-Fan getting his first win on the year. San Diego State, we love the Aztecs here, but they lose 17-20 at home. They have the lead late. Coach Phoney and Indiana score, and San Diego State can't respond. So they take their first loss of the season. Speaking of Indiana, Coach Phoney had an interesting block, because that was just one game. His other game, hosting MC and the Utah Utes. So this game is going to be at home. What would happen? Now we see MC back at a power school. Well, it was a defensive game for a lot of it. MC going for it on 4th and goal, doesn't get it. Utah trying to make something happen. Nice interception here. Receiver may have held him or helped him stay in bounds. 3rd and 5. Oof. Big hit there. Setting up 4th and 13 in the field goal. Wide left. So still scoreless. And we'll be that way until about a minute to go in the first half. Big touchdown pass for Utah. Man, just missed a sack there. And it turned into a monster play. The Utes getting to the 31-yard line. But unfortunately for them, it wouldn't matter. A big sack on 3rd down. No field goal. Still 7-0. Late in the 3rd, Brent, one of his 7 receptions. Touchdown Utes. They're up 14-0. Indiana driving. Ooh, 3rd and goal, interception. Trying to get outside. Cuts back in. Help comes. Indiana defense, though, big. Keeping a minute. Big catch here. Gets blasted but holds on. 3rd and 8 for Utah. Their guy does not. So Indiana getting the ball back, a middle screen, and it works. Look at the blocking. And he gets outside and he's going to score. Utah's not going to be able to catch, so Indiana can't put up points all game. They score 14 in the span of a minute. We're going to overtime. And in OT, the pitch, the run, the touchdown, 21 unanswered by Indiana. Utah trying to make something happen. The scramble, the catch, 21-21. But Utah, of course, keeping the ball. We're in overtime number 2. Tough one there. It was still a catch anyway, but illegal contact with the comeback on the dig. They score 28-21. RPO to the tight end, 28-27. And they go, but the pressure can't get the ball off fast enough. Got an option open. Indiana really game, but they're unable to pull off the win. They lose 27-28. Teams with over 300 yards of offense. Just not a lot of points early on. Defensive game, but Cam Rising doing enough. 25-34 for TDs and an INT. Some other power action. Duke losing to Arizona 28-56. Yes, 56 points by Arizona. Great showing by them. In other action, Oregon, Coach Shell, first shutout of the season, blanking the Golden Bears 33-0 on the road. Oregon looking good to start the season, looking to see if they can get back in the playoffs and make a deep run. Washington, this isn't a power matchup, but Coach Wobbles pulling off the P4 upset, 21-14 winners at home against Coach Matt Daddy and the Huskies. GG Wobbles. And then we have ACC SEC action again. This time Auburn, a late field goal as time expires gives them the road win against SMU, 31-30. Auburn on the board for the SEC. And Kentucky, well, they're on the board, but not with the win. They lose at home to CU. Andy doing work with the Buffaloes. They win 48-14. Good showing by the Colorado defense. And Coach Wilds, Texas Tech, his home, not Iowa. Big win on the road against Minnesota, 35-14. So the Texas Tech offense looking good early on. Penn State, well, they had quite the interesting offseason, huh? Coach Nittler stays. And the first game, a tough one, a matchup against an SEC team. They squeak it out 31-28. So they're off to a good start at home in big action. Speaking of the big, Northwestern getting a win over Stanford. They win 31-21. Stanford with more yards on offense, but that one stat, turnovers, 2 turnovers, that is the difference in the game. And then Tulsa, tough loss for them here. They lose 35-47 to Oregon State. Big fourth quarter for the Beavers, 28 points, able to flip the script, and they get the road win against Tulsa. Looking at the stats, got Johnson leading all quarterbacks in yards, almost 800 in 2 games. Wow. 2 running backs over 500 yards already. And then Nesbitt pacing receivers. Now, before we get to the end of this show, one more clip to show you before we get there. I want to give a shout out to Coach Block. Make sure you guys are submitting highlights for those money awards. Remember, the top video highlight wins $100. The top image is also $100. The season is not done yet. Still a lot of crazy things that can happen in games. Hey, we all have played EA games for a while. Nothing is ever off the table once you're on the sticks. With that said, I think we have a front runner in the clubhouse for the clip of the year. And if you haven't had a chance to see it, let me make sure you can see it here. We're going to head to the Cup. Didn't talk about the Cup at all on this episode, but we're going to head out to USC. 58-yard field goal attempt to win the game, and it's short. So we're headed to overtime, right? I don't think so. Coach Chip, he brings it out. and he's going to take that all the way back to kick six. If you're a Bama fan, you're probably feeling sick. If you're an Auburn fan, you've seen this before.